And first tonight here on the WHAS11 night team, a friend and former high school football coach are remembering Rondale Moore. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Doug Proffitt. Police say the 25-year-old football standout from New Albany died by suicide over the weekend. WHAS11 sports reporter Sarandon Raboyne is here. And Sarandon, the one thing I see throughout all of your interviews here late today, his work in the community.
Yeah, Doug, Rondale's life touched so many in the Kentuckiana community, from his play on the football field to when he would give back. I spoke with a few of them today to see how his legacy would live on here and how it can help athletes yet to come.
Between the lines, Rondale Moore had the ability to captivate fans.
He was a hometown hero. That's what I'll remember him as. He was an ultimate competitor. Probably one of the best players I've ever seen in my life.
Male alum Isaiah Cummings trained with Moore and says he made an impression Kentuckiana won't ever forget.
He will be remembered as one of the best players that was born here in Louisville, Kentucky.
He was such a great person off the field and off the court, first class.
Jim Shannon, Rondale's former high school coach in New Albany, says his death leaves a community looking for signs that something wasn't right.
You have a lot of mixed emotions running around inside of you right now, trying to figure it all out.
Because you never know what that person's going through, even though they might seem like they're having the best time of their life, and even in the NFL, you think they're perfectly fine, they're making millions. You don't know what they're really feeling, deep down, in their head.
It's opening the conversation around mental health, especially with athletes.
Especially as men, because we don't want to show that emotion, and we don't want to show it as a weakness, but it really isn't, because it's okay to cry once in a while.
The fear of being perceived as weak or not having grit, right, is a serious concern for a lot of athletes. Our goal is to help make it okay for them to acknowledge that they're struggling and get them connected with people that can help.
But we may never have the answers.
It has left a void in our community. There's no question about that. And I think that it's the kind of void that's going to last a long time, probably forever.
We have yet to hear of any celebrations or services in memory of Rondale, but the overwhelming sentiment I heard from everyone today is check on your friends and loved ones. Doug?
So true. Thank you, Sarandon. And as always, right here on WHAS 11, we want to remind you, if you or anybody you know is struggling with any thoughts of self-harm or suicide, please call the number on your screen. Someone is always there to talk to you. That number is simply 988. And we have a brand new update tonight. A 16-year-old has been identified in a shooting in the Jacobs neighborhood last Friday. It happened near Parthenia Avenue at about 8 p.m. That 16-year-old, according to the coroner, died at the scene. Now, up to the minute on the monster blizzard, the historic snowstorm has exited New York City. Temperatures are actually warming there, but 2 more rounds of snow are going to be targeting the area later this week. Parts of New Jersey and New York receiving nearly 28 inches of snow, more than 2 feet of it. But first, here's a live look of Times Square in New York City tonight. You see some people moving around the city around the clock, courtesy of EarthCam, this live view coming to you. And New York's brand new mayor, Zohran Mamdani, upped the pay today from $19 an hour to $30 an hour for the city's emergency snow shovelers. Those are the good people who sign up to do the hard work, clearing the bus stops, the crosswalks, the fire hydrants, you name it. We could have used them in January around here in Louisville. Now, take a look at the most unique EarthCam video I've seen today. They call it Torch Cam. This is the Statue of Liberty looking from above, showing Lady Liberty, her torch, the crown, the face, and tablet, all surrounded by a foot of snow that landed on Liberty Island in the big winter storm. We had friendly snow flurries around here today in Arctic Air. Back in the Kentuckiana for tonight, Austin Evans is filling in for Mallory tonight. And Austin, any more snow flurries coming to our area tomorrow?
Nothing major in terms of snow flurries on the way, and tomorrow actually looking dry, though it's going to be cloudy and breezy once again, and we're going to struggle to warm up, though we should see the lower 40s for highs. Rain likely come Thursday. We still have some cloud cover overhead, as seen from our First Savings Bank U of L Health camera. We're in the 20s right now. Feels a little cooler, but that wind has thankfully calmed down. And here's a look at satellite and radar. Nothing left of the flurries other than maybe one or two. And taking a look at tomorrow's day planner, you can see how cloudy it's going to be, how breezy it's going to be. Details on the rain chances in a few minutes.
Thank you, Austin. New tonight on the night team. What type of identification do you take to the voting booth when you go to vote? Some folks use their photo IDs or their Social Security cards and SNAP cards. Now, the Kentucky Senate has voted in favor of tightening the form of ID that you can use. WHAS 11 night team's Alex Dederer and photojournalist Aspen Hester have both sides of this voter ID argument.
Yeah, Senate Bill 154 is really tightening up our voter ID requirements and laws so that every form of ID requires a photograph to go with it.
In a 31-7 vote, the Kentucky Senate voted to tighten voter identification requirements.
This would really put us into a category of being a strict photo ID voter state.
Senate Bill 154 removes Social Security cards and SNAP EBT cards as secondary forms of ID voters can use at the polls. The bill is sponsored by Kentucky Senator Lindsey Titchener, who represents Oldham, Trimble, and parts of Jefferson County.
We don't need to have any loophole where possible fraud could happen.
Saying the bill would prevent voter fraud in the state.
There's not a single election fraud investigation active in the state of Kentucky.
Kentucky Senator Cassie Chambers Armstrong, who represents part of Jefferson County, pushing back on those claims. She was one of 7 senators to vote against the bill.
It makes it harder for folks to vote. And we know that sometimes that happens, particularly in our rural counties where it can be really challenging for folks to get to those places where they can get those driver's licenses.
And then what is your response to people who are saying that it may be difficult to get a license here in Kentucky, especially in rural places?
Well, I would have to agree with them. I've been fighting that issue of our regional driver's licensing centers for the last couple of years. I'm a firm believer that we need to return to county.
A spokesperson for Secretary of State Michael Adams said Adams is neutral on the bill, saying, quote, typically 98% of voters use a driver's license as qualifying photo ID. He's neutral on the bill because it would not appreciably protect election security or harm voters, end quote. The bill is now heading to the House of Representatives. In Louisville, Alex Dederer, the WHAS 11 night team on your side.
Senator Chambers Armstrong also told us that 1,000 voters used their Social Security cards to vote in the last election. We have new details coming in on the night team. The masked man who's suspected in the abduction of Nancy Guthrie in Arizona appears to have been at her front door on a day before her disappearance. This comes from sources close to the investigation telling ABC News earlier tonight. The FBI released a photo of the masked man captured by a Nest camera at her door on a day before her disappearance. So far, no suspect has been identified by investigators in Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Continuing our coverage after a suburban Indianapolis police officer was shot and killed in the line of duty last Monday, fallen Beech Grove officer Brian Elliott was laid to rest today, a week after his death.
We will continue to carry on your sacrifice from here.
Officer Brian Elliott was shot next to Beech Grove High School after he and another officer responded to a report of a domestic disturbance. The suspect shot Elliott and the other officer. That officer survived. Elliott died at the hospital. Today, loved ones remembering Officer Elliott at his funeral service. Happening today, we learned that you are going to see a lot of red, white, and blue for this year's Thunder over Louisville in April. It will be one of the earliest events in the country celebrating the 250th anniversary of America's independence.
Thunder is back.
Thunder organizers today holding their big news conference about it along with the mayor and the governor in Louisville and revealed some new touches. Here's what we've learned that's new, starting with a cut from the Broadway hit show Hamilton. They say the event will hit all of your emotions musically. The 2nd Street Bridge will take on a new focus with both a rainbow and a giant American flag and fireworks. The male high school choir will be kicking off everything with the national anthem at 3 p.m. They'll be up on the bridge to do it. Plus, a man named Paul Jones will be on the Galt House balcony saluting the American flag during the opening ceremony. Founding producer Wayne Hettinger explains.
What's the big deal about that? Paul Jones will be 103. He's really looking forward to it. He was a World War II aircraft fighter pilot. When we get into God Bless America, He's going to, with fireworks, build an American flag the length of the 2nd Street Bridge. So you'll see fireworks layer up and build a flag.
Thunder of Louisville is Saturday, April 18th. The theme is Thunder in the USA. Last year's Thunder was canceled due to the historic flooding along the Ohio River. Don't go to bed just yet. Historic records of Louisville's African-American residents kept by the Jefferson County Clerk. Now they're coming out of the files after centuries, preserving history and telling a story at the very same time. But first, digging out quickly, the monster blizzard ripping up the East Coast, how millions are digging out, and we've got the brand new power outage numbers for you. It's right after this on the Night Team.
Heading through Kentucky Lottery jackpot numbers right now, Mega Millions sitting at $438 million, Powerball $203 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.